Welcome to another one of my BARLATES Body Blitz how-to segments. Today we're going to have a look at how to do the perfect push-up. Now many women especially shy away from doing push-ups because they think they're just too hard, but there are so many variations that every fitness level can definitely do them. And they're such a great workout for your entire body because you're engaging so many muscle groups and you're definitely effectively burning calories as well as building strength. So overall, you should be doing push-ups as part of your workout routine. So let's get started. Now, I'm starting with the simplest way and then moving into the more advanced versions. First of all, make sure that as you face your mat, you're really nice and straight and you're coming down into a tabletop position where your arms are just lining up with the edge of your mat or just slightly wider than shoulder width. So this is the very first position, the most beginner version of a push-up, where you're balanced in between your arms and your legs and you're just bringing your chest to the floor. One of the most important things to note when doing a push-up is that you are not rounding or arching your back, but you are simply looking straight ahead, keeping your spine in nice alignment with your neck and putting your chest towards the floor, not your head, not your chin, not your stomach, but really trying to make sure that you're leading with that chest. Looking at the top of your mat the entire time, not looking back at your knees, and just really trying to keep that balance between the front and the back of your body. Now, if you're finding that you can do this quite easily and you want a bit more of a challenge, then the next intermediate version would be to scoot your knees back. So just scoot your knees back and come forward onto the meaty part of your knees. Don't stay up here because you might find that you twinge and put too much pressure on your knee. Hinge forward and once again make sure that your back is nice and flat. You can keep your legs up like this, which I find quite comfortable, or you can keep them down. Make sure that you're looking straight ahead. Once again, at the front of your mat, your arms are still aligned, so your wrists are under your shoulders, slightly further wider than your shoulders, at the edge of your mat and leading with your chest. Now, because you have more range of motion in this position, try to come down all the way and touch your chest to the mat before coming up. Now, don't end up resting down there because that's not part of the exercise. Just try to push up evenly, pushing weight throughout the palm as well as the fingers of your hand, evenly distributed, and making sure that as you come up, you're not locking out your elbows. You always have a slight bend in your elbows. Keeping your tummy pulled in, very important. Don't let your back slump and don't curve your back up. Keep it very nice and straight, down and up. Now, if you've mastered this intermediate version and you want to move on to more advanced, the next version is to curl your toes under. Just going to move forward on my mat. So, exactly the same position, curling your toes under and lifting your knees. You're still lined up over your wrists. They're out slightly wider than your shoulders and you're coming down and up. So you're pressing your chest towards the floor, still looking straight ahead, keeping your legs really nice and straight and tense, not poking your bum up into the air like this, not slouching through the middle like this. Really nice alignment as if you're doing a plank, and then down and up. Okay, so making sure once again your arms are not locked out at the top. So that's your 3 levels of your regular push-ups. Now, there are obviously many versions of push-ups that you can do. One of the most popular being a tricep push-up, which basically is exactly the same thing as a normal push-up, the only difference being that your arms are closer together and you are keeping your elbows in while you're pushing up. Okay, so once again going through the 3 levels. In this case, your hands are directly underneath the shoulders or even in slightly. Depending on how strong you are, the closer your hands are together, the harder it will be. So finding that balance between the front and the back of your body, keeping your middle pulled in nice and flat, back nice and flat. What you're doing is you're just coming down and up. Now in this case, your chin is leading forward and you are trying to keep your arms in by your side. You will find that the inside of your arm is grazing your rib cage as you come down and up. If you're finding this is still too difficult, to as a beginner to do, then what you can do is come even further back, bring your hands slightly wider, and actually bring your forearms down and up like this. So you're sticking your glutes out to the back, and you will still feel this in your triceps. But as you advance, come forward slightly, hands in together, make sure you're nice and aligned, down and up. You're actually leading with your chin this time, arms in by the side, down and up. Intermediate version, scooting your knees slightly back, once again on the meaty part of your knees, not dipping in the middle, not curving your spine, but nice straight alignment, down and up. So you're leading with your chest this time. Arms are still grazing the side of your rib cage. Your elbows are pointing towards the back. They're not out like this, they're pointing back and up. And as you come up, you're not locking out your arms like this, you're coming down and you are keeping a very light bend in that elbow, okay? So last advanced version of this exercise, which tends to be quite difficult for women to do because just we're made up differently than men. We don't have quite as much muscle in our upper body. But if you are at that level, then once again, lining up your wrists underneath your shoulders, coming into that perfect plank position, making sure your hands are a bit closer together, and then coming down, leading with your chest, and up. Once again, making sure that your elbows are not turning out, but they're staying facing the back, keeping your legs nice and strong, tummy's pulled in, down and up, leading with that chest. Try to get the chest all the way down and back up. And there you have it. So you've got your normal push-ups and your tricep push-ups. You can also do wide push-ups where your arms are out further and you're turning your hands out like this instead of facing the front. That will hit more the connector between your shoulder and your pec muscle. So there are many different variations. You can even do one arm push-ups, one leg push-ups. There's so many, but the basic form is always the same. Just make sure your alignment is perfect, you're keeping everything as straight as a board, and you're leading with your chest. And then hopefully you will master that push-up and keep going up in the levels, and eventually you'll find that you can do an advanced version without any problems.